So back to the thyroid, because that's our main topic today. One point I want to make sure you understand is that your thyroid does not work alone. I want to zoom out. I think most conversations focus only on the thyroid, and I understand why. That's where the issues are showing up, so that's where we think we need to do the support, and it's not wrong. But if the only thing you're addressing is the actual thyroid, you are missing 90% of the picture. The thyroid does not function in isolation. It's influenced by so many multiple systems in the body. We're going to go through them one at a time. So, the contributors and the pieces that have a part to say in the function of the thyroid is that stress response, that burden of stress. So we're talking the external stress, the emotional stress, and that burden of stress internally is all triggering that stress response. So whatever chronic burden of stress that keeps building over time is going to have an impact on your thyroid. There's also the nervous system to take into consideration. Obviously, the nervous system is one of those contributors to that internal burden of stress, right? It is what perceives the stress in the first place. And you've got two sides to your nervous system. You've got two parts to your nervous system, and you can only be in one at a time. You've got fight or flight, rest and digest. If you're in fight or flight often, that is going to add to that burden of stress. So our body, what you need to understand is that the nervous system is so keenly involved here as a life-preserving mechanism. Your nervous system will always prioritize survival over optimization and repair. So your body and your nervous system will be very, all the time, scanning for dangers and whether or not it needs to turn on that stress response. So the nervous system has a really big role to play here. Who's another stakeholder in thyroid function? Blood sugars. Yeah, blood sugar swings create a lot of those stress signals and contribute to that burden of stress. And conversely, stable blood sugars actually help stabilize so much energy production work in the body. Do you know what's in charge of your energy production system? Your thyroid. So if we can stabilize your blood sugars, now we can also help support the thyroid to better function. So that's a key player. Another stakeholder in this conversation, your gut and your microbiome, right? Your gut is where you absorb nutrients. How's that going? I hope well. But if you've got leaky gut going on, things could start to get a bit affected. Your microbiome also influences a whole heck of a lot of what the thyroid does. So if your microbiome collection is a little bit wonky, that's going to now have an impact on the thyroid. Another piece, and we're going to talk about the immune system in a minute, but 70% of your immune system lives in the gut. So now you have a deeper appreciation for when we talk about the thyroid, we need to also be looking at the gut. Yeah? Okay, the gut influences thyroid function quite a bit. Who's another stakeholder here? Inflammation. Inflammation, we have talked about a little bit as part of that burden of stress. So inflammation changes how your cells respond to hormones. Your thyroid is part of the endocrine system. That means it makes hormones. What are hormones? Hormones are something your body produces. You can think of it like a telephone call to make something happen. When we have inflammation in the body, it starts to change how your cells respond to hormones, including thyroid hormones. The more inflammation you've got, the trickier it is for your cells and your tissues to hear the phone calls coming from the thyroid. You can think of it that way. And that can affect energy production. It can affect metabolism and other things. Another big stakeholder here in thyroid function is the liver and everything that she does. Your liver, you'll soon understand, is a key player and kind of BFF with the thyroid. The liver does the conversion of thyroid hormones. You have an inactive version of thyroid hormones. You have an active one. And to go from inactive to active, guess who does that job? The liver. So if your liver is struggling now you're going to start to feel it in the thyroid because of some of those conversions are not going to be working as well. As well, your liver supports hormone processing, a bunch of detoxification as well. It also has a really big role to play in dismantling the nutrients you need and getting them to where you need them. So if the liver struggles with that, you will start to see it in the thyroid as well. So far, is it a thyroid issue, or is it maybe a nervous system issue, or a blood sugar issue, or a gut microbiome issue, or maybe it's inflammation? Oh no, maybe it's liver. Maybe it's one or two or three or four or five of these. They're all the stress response, PS. They're all about the stress response. Okay, another one. Nutrients. Speaking of the liver and packaging these nutrients, are you getting enough of those nutrients? So if you're not getting quite those nutrients, I'll go really quickly through what they are. Who cares? I'm going to tell you how to get these nutrients and kind of ways to think about it and hacks on making sure you get those nutrients. But the key ones for the thyroid, of course, there's iodine, but selenium. I talked about it with the Brazil nuts. Zinc, iron, copper, vitamin A, retinol. Protein. Every single thyroid hormone is built on the backbone of a protein. Oh. Are you getting enough of these things? That's my question. It's going to be one of the questions. Your thyroid cannot build hormones without adequate raw materials. Last but not least, the immune system. She's another big stakeholder here, especially important for Hashimoto's. If you have a diagnosis of Hashimoto's, I will tell you most hypothyroid cases are actually Hashimoto's hypothyroiditis. Autoimmune. 80 to 90% of hypothyroid cases are actually Hashimoto's. Hashimoto's is the autoimmune version of a hypothyroid diagnosis. So your immune system really has a massive, massive sway on the thyroid. I'm going to ask you a very big question that we will answer later. Is your thyroid issue a thyroid issue, or is it an immune issue? You'll get the answer to that question in just a minute. So, throughout today's class, we're going to explore all of these areas. There's a lot to cover. If your eyes start to glaze over, it's okay. Hopefully you can come back and watch it again and then get to solutions. If there's anywhere you want to concentrate on, I'm going to encourage you to really get clarity on the solutions, because those are the solutions that are going to get you feeling better. Understanding the science of it will help you maybe buy into why you need to do the work. But I like to go deep just to make sure that you know what it is you're looking at, because I don't think you're dumb. I think you're smart, and I want to make sure you have what it is you need. So, instead of asking, what is wrong with my thyroid? Now you're going to understand why I ask this question. We need to ask instead, what environment is my thyroid operating in? What is it responding to? How many of those other stakeholders are actually the problem that is showing up in the thyroid? That's the question we need to ask. And do you have one or two or three or four or more of those? What's your particular combination? I'm going to tell you a little secret. It doesn't actually super matter which combination it is that you in particular have, except to maybe understand some of the biochemistry that's struggling. But the solutions that are on offer today will help alleviate all of them, because they all go towards reducing your burden of stress. And when we reduce your burden of stress, that's actually how we down-regulate whatever's happening on the thyroid. No, I shouldn't use those words. That's how we reduce those symptoms that you're feeling.